Okay, I'm going to show you a game that I played on the free internet chess server. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Both myself and my opponent are rated about 1400 at the time. I play e4, he plays c5, Sicilian defense, which is a sharp opening. And I like to meet the Sicilian right now with d4. Now, to be honest, the Sicilian is the reason why I stopped playing e4 for the most part. I usually play d4. But when I screw around on the free internet chess server, a lot of times I'll play e4 just to play some sharp games and work on my tactics. So I play the Smith-Morra here, which is fun. There's a lot of good traps at the beginning of the Smith-Morra. You can catch people in the first 10 or 15 moves and win a queen even, or win a rook. There's lots of fun with Smith-Morra. For more information on the Smith-Morra, you're going to want to check out Alex Lenderman's video stuff. If you go to chessclub.com, which is the ICC, you should be able to find a link to his tutorial. He's got one free video on the Smith-Morra which shows a lot of those tactics. It's a lot of fun, and Alex Lenderman's a great player, so you definitely learn a lot from him. And sign up for ICC and you get access to the next two videos in his Smith-Morra Gambit series, which I definitely recommend. So anyways, here's the Smith-Morra. It's a pawn sacrifice. I play c3. Now, beginners and pros alike will all capture here. D takes c3, which is the correct continuation, and I play knight takes c3. So I've given up a pawn here, and what I've got in return is a lead in development. I have a knight out, and I have a pawn on e4 here, and black has nothing going except for that he's missing a pawn. So he plays d6, which is, I think a great move here. It keeps me from being able to play e5, so he can play his knight out. So I play knight, and he plays g7, or I'm sorry, g6. Which it looks like at this point he's preparing to play a King's Indian defense style with a pawn missing here, which he won't miss at all. Usually that pawn doesn't play a huge game or a huge part of the game. He ended up leaving it here, and it would just lock down the middle. So here it'll be like a King's Indian defense with a little bit more open and with a pawn advantage, and I can't lock down the pawns here without my two pawns. So on the queen side, it will look nothing like a King's Indian. On the king side, it'll be exactly a King's Indian defense, or that's what it's heading to anyways. I play bishop c4, which is a natural developing move. Puts pressure on the f7 square, which is always good in the Smith-Morra and in any opening, to be honest. And he plays bishop g7, of course. I go ahead, and I probably shouldn't have done this, but I castled here, which is kind of too slow for a gambit opening. I should have been attacking a little bit more aggressively. In this situation, queen b3 would have been good, and I have so much pressure on the f7 square here that e6 is almost forced. His one other option is to play bishop takes knight first, and I play pawn takes, and then he plays e6. But one way or the other, he's going to be playing e6 because of all of this pressure on the diagonal. And at this point, I have a huge lead in development. I have three pieces out. All he has is a couple of pawns on the 6th rank. And I've got a lot of options. I can play bishop g5 right away, attacking his queen. He has to play out here, and he's still not developing. Now I've got 4 pieces out. I can even just castle here at this point. I've made up a lot of the damage that I lost from losing that pawn. And the attack is going to be sharp. Black probably still has the lead technically. But this game is very even. It could go either way, and it's just going to go down to who can work out the tactics better. His other option is just e6 right away, leaving the pieces on the board. But to be honest, when he's a pawn up, he should be making these trades. But anyways, I didn't play queen b3. I played the slow castle move, and he played e6, which is expected. Now at this point, I started thinking, maybe knight b5, and looking to fork the king and the rook. I mean, there's lots of options here, and obviously the queen covers it now. But I'd be working tactically to try and work the queen off of that square, with different things. There's a lot of different options here at this point. None of them are terrible. Like for example, if I play king b5, and he just plays something natural, like developing a knight here. This pawn is hanging actually because I have the queen attacking it as well. So I'm going to win my pawn back, and I still have my large initiative in development, and he's checked. So he has to move his king. Taking with the queen is not an option, he just loses the queen. So now he's lost the ability to castle, and I've got this huge initiative. I'm going to push with the pawn here. There's no good square for this knight at this point. out here isn't going to do him any good, because then when I move my knight, he's going to be hanging his knight here. So he'd have to play very passively to knight g8, or maybe knight e8 or something like that, and the attack just keeps coming, just keeps coming. You can see white's better here, and the tactics will work out in white's favor as I continue to push. As I said before, when you're playing a pawn gambit in the opening, you need to be very, very aggressive. You don't have time to slow down. You're pawn down, and what you're trading that pawn for is initiative. So if you lose that initiative by playing slow, then you just wasted a pawn for nothing. So after e6 here, I had a lot of options. I didn't spend enough time considering knight b5, and I probably should have, and realized this pawn's hanging, and it would be a great square for my knight. But I played, again, kind of slow, but preparing e5 in a different way by playing rook to e1. Now you can see he can't play his knight forward because when I play up here, takes, queen takes, like this, and he's lost the ability to castle. His king is open. I still have a slight lead in initiative. I don't think this is very good. It's probably even, but I would say white might be slightly better here. His pawns are doubled. We got open files here that my rook's ready to take, and his rook's. Look at how passive his piece is here. I mean, all these pieces are doing nothing. This rook is very passive. This bishop is passive for now. His knight can do very little. There's nothing good happening for black. So I play rook out to e1 to prepare, and he plays knight to c6, which is a fine move. And I go ahead and continue with my attack with bishop g5, attacking this queen. He can't take it because my knight here defends it. So he blocks with the knight, which is a great move. And at this point, I don't think I made a very good move. I went ahead and played bishop takes, queen d2. And my idea here is that I'm putting pressure. I have pressure on this d6 pawn, and I'm going to be looking to move a rook behind me, probably from the a file, and attack here. He's going to have a very hard time defending this pawn. It's going to fall. I'm going to get it back. And the question is, how much of a development can he get done while I'm busy taking this pawn? The game at this point is probably equal. He chooses to castle, and I play rook a d1 as my plan. And he plays bishop takes c3, which I think is a mistake. This bishop is very powerful on this diagonal, and this knight isn't doing a whole lot right now. I'm not threatening anything on the d5 square, so this knight isn't a terribly important piece for me. I think he shouldn't have taken here. I take back with the queen rather than the pawn, because taking back with the pawn leaves me with an isolated c pawn, which is just awkward, and then my a pawn's out here isolated, and as the minor pieces come off the board, the heavies are going to come through and start. I can see queens just coming through and gobbling these pawns. So I played queen takes c3, which I think is best.